Because every single part of cycling has to be a contentious topic and a point of endless debate, I'm going to do the unthinkable and gasp, share my opinion, and share what has worked for me for the past 14 years that I've been living my life on my bike. There's two schools of thought when it comes to the clothes that you should ride when you're biking. The first is the cycling kit school of thought, and the second is the wear whatever you want school of thought. This is how I've been dressing for when I'm on and off the bike for the past 14 years, so obviously I'm part of the wear whatever you want school of thought, and by extension, ride whatever bike you want, however you want, just as long as you're not being a dick. Just to be clear, just because I wear normal clothes when I ride my bike, it doesn't mean that I think that you should too. If you like wearing your cycling kit, good for you. Keep riding in your cycling kit, because our bodies and the clothes that we need and the preferences that we have are very different. I'm not you. Wear whatever you want, as long as it makes you happy, as long as it encourages you to ride your bike, because it ain't none of my business. I'm just here to share why I've always biked in normal clothes, why I still bike in normal clothes, and that no, you don't absolutely need a cycling kit or any cycling specific clothes just to ride a dang bike, despite what the marketing machine wants us to believe. The main reason I don't wear cycling specific clothes is that I don't need it, despite what all the marketing tells me. And people say that there's two benefits to cycling specific clothes, which is speed, because it's a lot tighter fitting, so you can be more aerodynamic by a lot, like a noticeable amount, and also comfort. But with either of those, I don't really feel a need for it, because I'm not a competitive cyclist. I am just riding for fun. And I don't need to go as fast as possible, so I don't need to optimize my clothes to be as fast as possible. Clothing has two purposes. One is its functional purpose, which is like, does it offer you protection? Like, say with cycling specific clothes, you can ride faster because it's more form-fitting, and for some people it might be more comfortable because of like the high-tech materials that are used. But the second is also the psychological purpose of it, which is how it communicates to other people without ever saying a word. And to me, it's uncomfortable for both of those reasons. I said ride whatever bike you want, however you want, as long as you're not a dick. That was a prime example of being a dick. And the only cycling specific clothing I've ever worn was a jersey once, and I did not like it. And that's because I physically found it uncomfortable. I did not like the way that it clung to my body, and I sweat a lot. I sweat buckets. It's disgusting. I have gone on first dates and girls have commented on how much I'm sweating, and like, it's just how I am. I sweat buckets. It's nasty. And so when I have like tight fitting clothing, I feel like that all of the sweat just sticks to my body and that I'm not getting airflow, versus looser fitting clothing, I feel like I can get more airflow and that the sweat can evaporate from my body. And that's just a personal preference thing. You might find the complete opposite, but that's my experience. And the second purpose of clothing is what it communicates to other people. And I also don't like what it communicates, because when you get in full cycling kit, it kind of states that like, I am a competitive, serious cyclist. And that's just not who I am, because cycling kit only fits into that context where you're riding a bike. But I like to ride my bike to go do things and to hang out with people and to run errands and go to Costco and Trader Joe's and Target. And personally, I would just feel kind of silly wearing a cycling specific kit in those situations. So the just pedestrian clothes are a lot more comfortable for me for the way that I use my bike. Look, I've been super into clothes ever since I was 10 years old, in the 4th grade, and the first Tilly's opened up in my town. And my parents let me start choosing what clothes that I want to wear. From then up until this day, I've been learning constantly about clothes, and something that I really care about is the material that my clothes are made out of. Because what my clothes are made out of affects not only comfort and style, which are very important, but also it affects my health, the health of the people making my clothes, and the environment. Most cycling-specific clothes are made out of polyester, elastane, or spandex, which are 3 different names for plastic. Or in the case of Castelli, one of the world's biggest cycling apparel brands, they're made out of who the hell knows what, because they won't even tell you what their clothes are made out of before you buy it. But it doesn't really matter because they know that people are going to buy their stuff anyways because their logo is plastered all over the Tour de France. A 2016 study conducted by the Universidad Rovira J in Spain, I butchered that, sorry, found that sweating in plastic clothes, which is what most cycling clothes are, leads to chemicals from the plastic leaching into the body through the skin. But according to that study, it's only a problem if you ever sweat in your plastic clothes. So if you never sweat in your cycling kit, you have nothing to worry about. But if you do sweat in your Lycra, it could be a problem. A 2020 study titled Environmental Exposure to Microplastics, an Overview on Possible Human Health Effects, conducted by the University of Health Sciences in Portugal, concluded that the increasing incidence of neurodegenerative diseases, immune disorders, and cancers may be related to increased exposure to environmental contaminants, i.e. microplastics. So before this video becomes a 2-hour-long video essay deep dive on microplastics and why they're bad and what to do about it, the too long didn't watch is there is plastic inside your body, inside my body, and they did not originally start there. Number 2, some of that plastic comes from our clothes. 3, I don't wear plastic clothes, which is polyester, spandex, lycra, elastane, a whole bunch of others, because I want to limit the amount of plastic in my body as much as I can and the potential negative health effects that plastic in my body has. And number 4, you can still wear whatever you want and bike in whatever you want. It's none of my business. Cool. All nice and tidy for the fixie point photo. Put that crank level. That's good lighting. Sometimes the simple photos are the best photos. Not that I know that it's a good one, but I'm happy that I took it. The same reason I wear normal clothes on the bike is the same reason that I exclusively ride fixed gear. I just like it more for both reasons of clothing, where it's more useful and more comfortable for me, and it's also psychologically what I want to communicate and more comfortable for me mentally, because I ride my bike to do things. I don't want to be showing my package when I'm in line at the 24-hour Mexican restaurant, okay? I hang out with people, I lock up my bike and then go away from my bike, and I feel like normal clothes and just being able to fit in is a huge bonus of riding a bike in normal clothes. Also, I just find it more physically comfortable. I have never in my life thought that a cotton t-shirt was not enough to bike in, and that it somehow needed to be more technical and more advanced and more sophisticated. To me, that's just all of the marketing hype. And if it works for you, that's great, but it just doesn't work for me because cycling clothes just don't fit my needs as a cyclist. It's almost 100 degrees out right now, and this is what I'm wearing. Starting from the bottom, just some barefoot shoes. And then I have some cotton pants, 100% cotton. Yes, I know, quite fancy. I've got a black baseball cap, and most importantly, we have today's sponsor, me. If you care about where and how your bike parts are made of and what they are made out of, I definitely believe that you should care about where and how and what your clothes are made out of. For the past few months, I've been working on the hardcore fixie points tee to give you and me some more fixie points when we are off the bike. The inspiration for this t-shirt was that I am a metal fan, and I wanted to have essentially my own band tee that would look sick, and I knew the perfect person for the job, who is Alan, who's known as the Sick Leave over on Instagram, who is a tattoo artist that I accidentally became friends with when I was eating at a restaurant out in Chicago. He just walked up to my table and was like, "Hey, are you Zach?" We immediately clicked, and I asked him to do this t-shirt, and we've been, hanging out whenever we're in each other's towns. And the thing that makes this the hardcore Fixie Points tee is that it is 100% made in the USA. It is grown in USA, woven, cut, sewn, designed, and printed in USA. Just like Brakeless Fixie or this t-shirt, it's for the hardcore. It took me probably 8 months from having the idea conceived to wearing it, because it takes a really long time if you want to make things right. Absolutely no corners were cut, no compromises were made. This is the real deal t-shirt. And if you're also a t-shirt cyclist and you want to increase your Fixie points off of the bike, be sure to check it out at zachalauto.com/merch. People do have some concerns with biking in regular old clothes. The first being sweat. And my thinking is that you're going to be sweaty on the bike regardless. No amount of clothes or lack of clothes is going to get rid of sweat completely. If you don't want to be sweaty, go drive a car, ride a train, and don't use a physical exercise mode of transportation. If that's what you're expecting, you're just gonna have to deal with sweat regardless of what you're wearing on the bike. Personally, for me, I feel more comfortable when I am wearing just basic ass clothes. This shirt is more like flowy and loose, and while it is not aerodynamic, it does allow the airflow to get in and help the sweat evaporate off of my chest and my back and my pits. And tighter fitting clothes to me feels kind of like the clothing just absorbs all the sweat and doesn't necessarily evaporate it, and just feels clammy and gross to me. Personal preference. The second concern that a lot of people have with biking in regular clothes is comfort with the saddle. Because a lot of people like to ride with bib shorts that have a padding in them and make it more comfortable. I have not had any issues with saddle comfort once I switched to a Brooks saddle. I ride centuries in this thing, don't have any pain whatsoever. I have Brooks saddles on all 3 of my bikes. They've been great. And just personally for me, it's just not necessary to have padding in my shorts. And also, again, psychologically, I'm just not comfortable wearing bib shorts because I'm not ready to show off my package to everybody in Target. Showing off my package is for 2 places: my wife in the bedroom and onlyfans.com/Zach. No, I'm playing. Biking in regular ass clothes is also just a lot more convenient because I'll be sitting at home and working, and then I can just go and get on my bike. This is the same thing that I was wearing all day, and I don't have to suit up like I'm a superhero. I never have to be like, "Honey, where's my super suit?" just to get on my bike. I just get on my bike, and that's what I really love about normal clothes. It is so easy, and it takes away one more excuse for me not to get on my bike. Get me out the door and onto my bike, which is always a good thing. And cycling specific clothes do have a cool thing where jerseys have pockets in the back, so you can keep bananas and water bottles or whatever in your jersey pocket. Personally, I would not like that because of how sweaty I am, and I would have a sweaty banana and a sweaty Cliff Bar just stuck on my back, so I'm not a fan of that. But I have set up my bike in other ways to make it more conductive to riding in normal clothes. So for back sweat, I just keep everything in a front rack and basket on my 2 main bikes. I have my Wabi Special and also my Wabi Thunder. Both of them have front racks, and it's been a game changer because I don't have to have anything on my back, and I don't have to deal with nasty pools of sweat on my back. And then a lot of people also really like clipless pedals. Personally, I'm not a fan of clipless pedals because I was riding them before, and on brakeless fixed gear, I found that when my cleats wore out, I would be popping out whenever I try to skid. So definitely straps. The only time that would happen is if the strap breaks. Luckily, that's never happened to me because I'm using good straps. So the flat pedals and the straps allow me to wear sneakers, just regular shoes. And then of course the Brooks saddle. This is custom molded to your butt. Your butt pounds it into shape so that it perfectly conforms and supports your ass. It is It's a thing of beauty, really. Same design since like the 1800s, and you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's been the most comfortable saddle I've ever ridden. Yeah, so because of how my bike is set up, it allows me to ride in my normal clothes.